Hello everybody, welcome to Red Tool House. I want to do a quick video on why it's important for us to wash or spray our logs off before we put them on the mill. So let me show you what's behind our reasoning here. So real quick, those of you new to the channel, just a quick summary. We're on 100 acres in the Appalachian hardwood forest, and the majority of that 100 acres is that way. So it's 95 acres is probably all hardwood forest. And we skid our logs this direction. We're using our logs to build infrastructure here on the farm, barns, buildings, coops, whatever you can imagine. We build it, trying to build it at least. So skidding those logs down from this valley is the path that we go. You can kind of see my road behind me here. But what happens is you see all this beautiful gravel that we have. This is 26 tons of gravel in probably less than 120 feet. So a lot of gravel doesn't go very long in West Virginia clay mud. So this is my staging area. This is where the mill sits, of course, and where we try to get our logs sized and ready to go and put on the mill. But before they come down, they obviously have to come through West Virginia red clay mud. So our skidding process is not unlike standard or traditional logging process, where you have a four-wheel drive machine driving through the woods that has multiple logs chained up or cabled up to the back of it that they drag out. That's why it's called skidding. We don't have the means to lift a log completely off the ground and get it out of the woods. So with my little tractor, of course, I don't have a huge skidder. So with my little tractor, maybe 1-2 logs at most, we're dragging out of the woods. And I'm fortunate if I can even get the front end of the log off. Now, again, I know there's attachments you can buy. There's all kinds of things that you can do to lift that front end of that log up, and we're working on that. It just takes time and money. But as we skid down, of course, we're getting a lot of mud and debris, dirt, rocks, all those type of things crammed into that bark. So dirt and debris, and especially rocks, crammed into that bark, shoved into the nooks and crannies of those logs, being put directly on the mill, obviously trashes the sharpness of the blade pretty quickly. And as expensive as blades are, as much time as it takes to sharpen them, whether you're sending them off or whether you're doing it yourself, you obviously want to get as much life as you can out of the sharpness of a blade before having to change it out. And depending on the species of log, some of this bark is extremely deep with crevices and furrows, so it can really get jammed in with a lot of dirt and really affect your blade. So take these logs, for example, that I skidded down last night or yesterday evening. This is indicative of what I get, especially since we live in the Appalachian tropical forest. It won't stop raining. So I've got a poplar log here. This is a poplar log as well. And that one I just skidded not even 100 feet because it was a tree on the edge of the pasture here we wanted to get rid of. So it's caked with mud, and it's bark furrows on 3 of the 4 sides here. This Virginia pine, and yes, Virginia pine is a species. Some of you guys have said there's no such thing as a Virginia pine. I'll fight you on that. Well, I won't fight you. I'll argue with you on that. It is a pine. Here's the scientific name. It's also called Jersey pine, or scrub pine is the common name. But these turkeys have really thick bark, scale bark, so the mud and the rocks really jam in there. And of course, where every little branch comes out, there's an opportunity for mud and even rocks. I've pulled out gravel the size of my thumb out of some of these crannies before putting them on the mill. So my setup's pretty simple. I just have an IBC tote, rain catchment off my workshop here, down in the IBC tote, garden hose hooked up, run over there to my pressure sprayer where I'm staging the logs. I sometimes spray them on the mill, and now I'm trying to spray them away from the mill just because I'm making the mill area so muddy. So I'm going to come out here in my gravel and try to spray them there. So obviously it takes a little more time to get the log clean. So it's a trade-off of clean log or sharpening. But obviously the wear and tear on the blade, less wear and tear on the blade, to me is a better payoff. So spending the time up front to wash the log, putting it on the mill, makes a lot more sense to me. So that's why we do it. Simple setup, a little bit of time. Well, if you like this video, we have other sawmill videos that we have on our channel. Obviously, we'll be doing a lot more milling in the future, so stick around. We're going to cut a lot of these logs up for a project we're working on. I'll link to a playlist below of all of our sawmill videos. And subscribe if you haven't. All right, take care, everybody.